Action. Looking for it. You found me. And that's how I got into powerlifting, basically. It was something that just someone just said and kind of triggered me, and I got into it. Other than that, I would never been here in the sport whatsoever.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I've been hooked in it.
All right. Welcome to episode 5 of Unleashing Power. Today I'm joined by Alejandro. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me on. I think I just made it. I'm here. Mama, look at me. I made it. God damn it.
Happy to have you here. I'm excited to jump into some good topics here. So, can you give a quick introduction of yourself?
Where do I start? How do I get this rolling? Name is Alejandro Wickham. Most of you may know me as Martian Strong. I'm almost a master's lifter, if not a master's lifter. I work for a company that does manufactures food, and we ship to all across the country. I'm one of the leading logistics director there. Inside of the gym, I'm a power lifter. I just love fitness in general. Easygoing. Just like to enjoy life, smile, have a few beers, not be too stressed out. Just love peace and quiet. That's basically me,
Cheers.
me in a nutshell.
Good. All right. So, let's start off with some icebreakers. Rank the lifts, SBD.
I gotta give squats number one. I think I'll go to order. Squat, bench, deadlift. No
Okay.
particular reason why deadlift is last. Deadlift is my new favorite lift, but I gotta give squats its prop because I think it's the king lift. So that's my perspective.
Okay, fair. Favorite accessory
Tricep extension, easily. Just that burn. Tricep
on the
extension.
cable machine?
Yes,
Okay. What's the heaviest you've gone up to?
the entire rack.
Okay.
I don't necessarily know what the numbers are, but whatever gym I'm at or whatever machine I'm using, I can easily max out.
Okay, then. I guess that's how your triceps got so big. Got it.
Correct. That's the secret.
All right, then, other than cables, what's a machine you can't live without?
I don't really have one, to be honest. It doesn't really matter to me. Just get a job done. I don't
Okay.
really have one that I can't live without. But if I had to choose, maybe leg extensions, maybe hamstring curls machines, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Those are good ones.
yeah.
Favorite kind of beer?
IPAs, basically.
Recovery of choice. No, that is it.
That is the recovery of choice.
Yes.
IPA.
Okay, with that out of the way, can you give me an overview of your involvement in the gym through your life and sports, and then how that kind of adapted through the years into you finding powerlifting?
I think going back years, Guyana, in South America, we were owned by the British Empire or British colony. So cricket was the main sport there. So grew up playing cricket. So that was always a staple in terms of school extracurricular activities, as well as club games. So cricket is where I think my first passion in sports or any kind of physical activity um, was developed. My dad loved cricket as well. He watched it every single day. So that was something that I kind of ended up playing. Did track as well. Played volleyball, soccer. I had a very hard um, schedule in my early days of school, juggling all those events. So I had to basically try to knock off a few. So I stuck with cricket and track mainly. And I think that's where the foundation of some of my, if you want to say, strength or foundation of some of my um, the basic core attributes in terms of body development started from, especially in the track. I was pretty good at track. I was mainly a 400-meter sprinter, so there's a lot of stamina involved in that particular sprint.
Hmm.
I was decent at 1 and 200s, but my start was too slow because I had a very slow reaction out of the blocks. So the 400 favored me better. So I was pretty good at that. I think I went undefeated all through high school with that, and cricket, soccer, and then as life progressed, stopped playing that and started going to the gym. I was never really a big person in the gym. Even when I was playing cricket or doing track, gym was not really like a staple um, in terms of training and so forth.
Mm.
Most of the work was done most of the work was done basically by body weight event activities, air squats, stuff like that, lunges, the basic stamina endurance kind of training. So once I got into the gym, I was just playing around with the gym, just trying to build my physique. 'Cause I was pretty small at that time. I was probably east to 10, I'm
And
guessing.
how old were you at this point?
When I started going to the gym, I was probably about,
Okay.
and I was just trying to get some muscle mass on my body because I was pretty, in my eyes, I was pretty thin. So I just wanted to get some of that muscle tissue or body parts up, according to my height. So got into the gym, no necessary or no specific kind of then behind it other than just to build my body. So as time progressed, I was in and out of the gym a couple times. So it wasn't like a significant amount of over time in the gym. So there were times I was there for like a couple of months, then I stopped, then maybe a year, and then I stopped. But I actually started going to the gym when I was probably about 30, 31. That's when
Mm.
I actually started going to the gym, like seriously, day in, day out. Um, had like a specific schedule with the gym, but there was no particular reason why I was going to the gym other than just to have some kind of fitness and just to Um, basically, just have a decent looking body, just for me in particular. No specific reason. So
Yeah.
started going to the gym, did the basic workouts. I always loved squatting. That was something I always did. So I would squat, bench. I had no idea what deadlifts were. No idea. And I think I saw deadlifts maybe 2 years into the gym and hated it. I was like, why is this person doing this ridiculous exercise? Probably gonna hurt their back. The typical deadlift stereotype you get from the
Yeah.
jump. This person's gonna break their back. So a couple guys in the gym were doing like deadlifts and so forth. And at this particular point, I think I was about I was 34 and I had no idea what powerlifting was. No clue. Didn't even know they existed. Like I said, I wasn't trying to become the strongest person in the gym or anything like that. I was just going there just to work out, then go to work, and then that was my day basically. So saw a couple guys came in the gym. They're doing powerlifting. I had a buddy in the gym. His name was Christian. He's one of the reasons why I got into powerlifting. He helped me a lot in my starting phase of powerlifting. So he explained to me what powerlifting was. I'm like, oh, pretty cool. At the time, he
Mm.
was doing ollie lifting at the time. So I would be in the squat racks and he would be on the ollie platform, like literally opposite each other. And we would just talk and then we would just look at people doing powerlifting activities and we kind of chuckled. I'm like, hmm. And it wasn't necessarily something I was interested in whatsoever. And then one particular day in the gym, Christian, my friend, we was discussing with with one of the powerlifters in there. There was a group of them that normally came to the gym, and they were loud and aggressive. And like I said, that didn't bother me because that's their world. My world is where I'm at. So he was having a discussion with them, and the guy was explaining to him what powerlifting was. And somewhere along the lines, the guy was basically explaining that just because someone is big, they're not strong. He pointed at me, and if anyone knows me, if you give me a challenge, it's game over. I'm on. I'm
Yep.
on. I'm on you. So in my head, I'm like, what did I do to this guy to be pointed out? And I'm like, I didn't take it personal because it wasn't personal. He was basically explaining the sport, and I went home that afternoon and I googled what powerlifting was, and then I was like, oh really? Let's do it. Sign up for my first meet. got my membership registration for a federation that I was started with, and this was in late December. This was just before Christmas, I think it was, and February 15th or February 13th. It was the weekend of Valentine's Day. It was a meet called my Iron Valentine in Allentown, and I did that meet, and that's how I got into powerlifting. Basically, it was something that just someone just said and kind of triggered me, and I got into it. Other than that, I would never been here in the sport whatsoever.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I've been hooked in it. Yeah,
So how long before between when that comment was made and you signing up for your meet?
like
Like how?
3 hours,
Oh, really?
3 4 hours.
Okay.
Yes. As soon as I got
Okay.
home, I went online, Googled it, looked for a meet close by, and I signed up immediately. Had no clue how I was gonna train, how to train, but I knew I was gonna do this meet regardless.
You
So
hadn't even read the rule book yet.
no, no, I just saw a couple back then. This was 2019, going on 2020. So 2019 December, there were a couple old videos of people in the old injured singlets, and I was like,
Hmm.
squat, bench, and deadlift. I can do this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do it. Yeah, it doesn't look that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just sign up with that instantly.
And that's interesting too because I feel like a lot of times I hear people in the gym talking about, oh, I'm not strong enough to sign up for my first meet yet, or I want to hit this certain total or this milestone lift, whatever, before I sign up for my first meet. What would you say to people like that?
Baby eagles don't have practice flight. They're pushed out of the nest. You better fly or you don't fly. And that can be used as a positive and a negative as well. Because if you don't fly, you die or you crash. But it's something that you yourself have to have confidence in yourself. And it's not like if you go to the meet and you total 100 kgs total, that was 100 kgs better than you started with,
Yeah.
and you progress from there. So there is no not strong enough because no one started off instantaneously at the top of the game,
Yeah.
and that's where a lot of people tend to um to forget. And I think what creates that fear is social media because they,
Yeah.
they look at social media and they want to get into the sport, and all they see is highlight reels. No
Yep.
one shows you the sucky part, the part where they're suffering to squat two reds or one red or a green or a blue. That's where they started. You got to put yourself. If you look at if you're looking at one particular lifter, let's say someone you look up to in the powerlifting community or anything in general, don't look at them now. Backtrack to see where they started at, and
Yep.
if you do that, then you'll be like, oh, I can do this because they started from somewhere. So I think anyone that wants to get into powerlifting or anything in general, don't look at the finished product. Look at where it started from.
Yeah. I agree. And how cool to see you add hundreds of pounds to your total rather than waiting for that perfect moment to compete. And then you might not add, very much at all because you're already at 98% before you sign up. So you only see that 2% increase,
Mm-hmm.
rather than signing up right away, getting the first meet out of your way.
Well said.
Now you have a baseline.
Well said.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. I think if you take years and years and years to get yourself ready for your first meet, you develop this new baseline for yourself. So you jump into this meet and you're totaling something pretty pretty decent. You have to go through the grinder now because you just literally took away all your um successes and highs of competing these meet, growing into the person you want to develop in. So you did all that in the shadows, and now you arrived at this particular level. Guess what? Now you gotta perform at this particular level.
Yep.
There's no more phase where you growing, but that's something as well that you can be okay with. You just cannot put yourself in the light of someone else. You can't run someone else's race. This is a physical sport, strength sport. You can't just magically be 300 kgs stronger in a block. That's not how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes I think I can do that, but that's a different conversation.
That's when your coach comes into play and gives you a reality check
Yeah,
sometimes.
definitely. Yeah,
Uh,
and not just your coach too. Anyone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you have to have people who you trust and people who are going to give you the truth sometimes, whether you want to hear it or not, rather than just having yes people around you.
That's very big. That's very big in powerlifting in the community. I see that a lot. The friends that you associate yourself with in training can make or break you. I get that we all want to be supportive. We all want to encourage someone, but there must be reality in it. Like you're not going to compete against your friends, or your friends are not judging you.
Yeah.
You're being judged by individuals that don't even know who you are, and
Hmm.
their job is to uphold the standards. So when you get there and your friends have been telling you yes for the last 6 months, you squatting high like a giraffe and benching like it's Columbine bench off or something. What do you think's gonna happen? Then all of a sudden you're blaming the judges and blaming everybody else, and then your friends are just quiet. I'm like, that's something that really bothers me in the powerlifting community is we're not holding each other to standards. And when you do try to lend an advice or an ear or just basically give some advice to a lifter, hey, excuse me, good job with your squat. It's a little high. You got to work on that. Is it your place to tell them that? That's not a question. I mean, sometimes it's not if they have a coach, but
Yeah.
is that your friend though? I would
Right.
expect my friends to tell me in the gym anytime I'm doing anything wrong that's against the standard. Like Alejandro, nice PR, but it's not really a PR. It was a mile high. Let's fix that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get upset. I'd be like, really? And then I look at the video, like, yeah, you're right. Let's work on that. I think if you're more open-minded in training, it's gonna help. Like other sports, like I played cricket. Like we critique each other's batting form, bowling form, and no one took it personal because we're trying to develop each other to become a stronger team. So
Right.
I think that may be another thing too as well, that because it's like an individual event, it's
Yeah.
more personal than than something that's relatable among the other team members.
Right. But why can't it be viewed as a team sport as well? Like I want to see you win just as much as I want to see some random person in the gym win as well because that just makes powerlifting look good. If you see 5 people walk up to squat back to back, they're all squatting high. That's not enjoyable. That's not viewable. That's not bettering powerlifting. You're going to want to see everybody go up. And if they fail something, you want to see, or at least me, I want to see somebody fail because, I don't know, they weren't strong enough. I don't want to see like a stupid technical fail. You see a bunch of people squatting high. That's not too entertaining, right?
In the gym, probably yes. On meet day, no, because
Right.
it just looks ridiculous. It looks like everyone just came here to have a giraffe event instead of squatting to the standards. And the question that you asked was it why? I think I think egos play a big part of that. I
Hmm.
think people are in the gym with egos bigger than life. And is it healthy? No. Sometimes ego can play a part in your performance, yes, but you need to check it to a certain level. And I think that if you're really trying to improve yourself and have the people around you that you're training with to be healthy at the same time, or you want them to be improved as well, you have to have these hard conversations.
Hmm.
And it's not personal. But then again, I've seen people or I've noticed certain things in the community as well is that a lot of people want you to do well, but that's not better than them. So
Yep.
they see you squatting high, more weight than you, but they're not gonna say anything because they want you to bomb out on meet day.
Yep.
And I could be wrong, but I've noticed that, and I've experienced it myself. Like They want you to do well, but not better than them.
Yep.
And that's where the ego check needs to get. You need to check your ego and check really see it as a community instead of a self centered event. My point of view.
Yeah.
I can get deep into that as well, but
Yeah. Well, and the other thing I'll add is a lot of the times, if somebody is squatting more than another person can and they're kind of hating on them, a lot of times they're not even in the same weight class. So why can't you root for this person? I think there's a time and a place to get to a competition and look at somebody who you might be friends with and say, "Today, you're my competition. We're not friends today." That's fine. Every other day, you don't have to carry that competitive nature into everyday life.
yeah, totally. In my 4+ years of competing, I've had rivals from year one, and we're friends to this day.
Mm,
And even in prep, we're going against each other at meets. We talk to each other and we try to help each other. Come meet day, we're walking in there and we're like, "Don't talk to me until this is over." Stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
We don't want to see each other do bad. Like I've asked competitors for advice. They've asked me for advice. We've discussed strategies, how to get better, and we're all trying to push each other. I don't see it as um I want you to do bad. I'm not gonna
Right.
tell you you're squatting high. I'm not gonna tell you you're not polishing your bench. I'm gonna let you know. I'm like, hey, this FYI, squat a little high, or the bench is paused not long enough, or your deadlift's not locked out, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt anything. I think, I think more so, to be honest. I can be wrong, but I think the last year and a half, it has gotten better to some degree. Or
Hmm.
maybe I'm not just not looking anymore. But I think it has gotten better. I think people are actually trying to help each other now, and it has gotten better. But I know when I started off, it was almost like a dog eat dog world,
Yeah.
and now it has gotten a lot better than it was to see people training together, to see people talking about if it was deep enough, or whatever it may be, and they are discussing it as friends and so forth. I mean,
Yeah.
occasionally now and then I might see a glimpse of it here and there, but I think it has gotten better. Back to the point we were making, I think yeah, it doesn't hurt to be accepting of a little advice. Obviously, you're gonna take it to your coach. They're not your, if you have a coach, they're not your coach. So take it to your coach. Hey coach, so and so said that it's kind of high. What you think? And your coach better be real with you too. That's not a story. If your coach is
Yeah.
like, don't listen to this person, it's good. Then we got a different problem there. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. That's where the trust that you build with your coach comes into play.
Correct.
Because
That's
if
big.
you're willing to listen to the opinions of everybody else in the gym over your coach, then you don't truly trust your coach.
True. Yep. Why do you have a
And
coach?
that's a bigger issue.
Totally agree.
All right. What makes for a good meet day in your eyes? Do you have any things that you swear by?
Oh boy. I think over the last 4 years, a lot has evolved with me in terms of me days. I don't even know if I have one particular thing really. I do know that just mental relaxation, basically, not get too not to get too worked up mentally.
Mm,
I think you need to control your mind more so the last 48 hours, 72 hours before a meet. Because obviously there is the anxiety to compete, the nervousness, adrenaline rush. Just need to control that. You got to find ways in how you control that. What I normally do is I try to listen to as much as possible music that doesn't get my BP going.
mm,
Or my heart rate, not BP, blood pressure, yeah, heart rate.
that too.
All right. Try to listen to a lot of relaxing music as much as possible because obviously everyone gets anxious, everyone gets somewhat jittery or nervous. I don't normally get nervous or excited. I just need to channel out the externals like work and personal life stuff and just focus on the meet. That's my biggest thing. I don't want to outside externals affecting my mental state before I compete. That's mainly it for me that I can remember because so much has changed since I started. Even though it's been a short couple of years, that's the biggest one for me right now. Is just blocking out the externals in terms of personal life and so forth, career and stuff.
Yeah. So you said you talked to a lot of your competitors leading up to a meet. Is there a certain point where you cut that communication off to fully get into the headspace of turning it into a competition?
Yes, I think just before we start squatting, I turn it off.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not that serious for me, really. It's when I say serious, it's not really that much. Talking to my competitors doesn't really bother me. It's not like I'm worried about what they're gonna do. They're gonna do what they're gonna have to do, and I'm gonna do what I have to do. We can't change the fact that we've we've put so much work into our preps and so forth. There's only so much you can gain. No one's gonna come in here and just automatically total a whole 1,000 kg more than you. It's just a matter of, and I see this is where your coach is very important. We've survived prep, we're injury free, everything went well in prep. It's over to the coach. He now has to do all the stressing.
Yeah.
He has to do all the numbers. He has to do all the attempts. He has to strategize and plan how he's gonna play the numbers game. My job is done. I did all my training. I'm coming in here once I can see other competitors the day of, the morning of, just before we start squatting, and I'm talking to them. I'm, hey, what's up? Hey, we just BSing around the place. But once the coach said time to warm up, that's it. It's done. Conversation is over, and so forth. Now, I'm very. I think I've been privileged enough or blessed to have great competitors in my past competitions.
Yeah.
They've been so great. Great friends. Still talk to them to this day. We still talk. So it's nothing but love. There's no bad blood. If they beat me, if I beat them, it's all love. So I've never really gotten to that place where I have to shut down all communication with them before a certain time period. The
Yeah,
main,
you don't like build them into this villain in your head to
no,
be able to go up against them.
no, no. I don't have because the villain that I my villain is myself. That's the person I have to convince to go out there and do the work. I mean, they're gonna do what like I said, they're gonna do what they're gonna have to do. I have to do what I have to do. It's all now in my coach's hand, and because I have so much faith and so much trust in my coach, I don't have that stress factor of what's gonna happen. So that's I think for me that's been such a great key in my success is the way how he approaches stuff, the way how he handles the situation, and every time I miss a lift, I'm more apologetic to him than anything because I feel as though I should have executed to the plan. We had a plan, everything was on point. I didn't do my part. I'm the one to blame, and that's how I see it. I don't try to make it about anybody else. I mean, like my other competitors, they're perfectly fine. There's no stress. Midday, there's nothing is bothering me. My coach handles all that external nonsense on midday. So it's
Mhm.
so easy to compete now. Like I remember before I had my coach, middays were so hectic for me. I was self-coached for about a year and change, close to 2 years, and then
Mhm.
Liam Hoey's my coach. He came on board, and ever since then it's been great. And the more I compete, the more fun I'm having at competitions.
Yeah.
Actually, too much fun if you ask me sometimes. And because that's not really how I approach a midday, but I've been enjoying meets more and more because I have so much trust and faith in him, so I don't have to worry about the external nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are fun to watch on meet day, that's for sure. Like you almost too much where it's like, okay, better lock in, but you always look like you're having a good time and friends with everyone and just, you know, enjoying it, which I think is I think it's important to take yourself seriously and take competing seriously, but I think some people take that too far where they forget to enjoy what they're doing as well.
exactly.
But at the end of the day, We're doing this because we enjoy it. We're doing this because it's a good challenge, you know? It's something to push us to be better. And I think a lot of times you'll see people in the gym training so hard for a meet, and then meet day, they're just absolutely miserable. And it's such a shame to see, too.
And that's why I have a specific ethos that I go by, is that I do not like to train. I hate training, but I love to do it.
Hmm.
And it's something that I have to go to, I'm like, I have to go to the gym and train. Damn. But I get there and I know I'm gonna get it done. And when I'm done, I'm like, love that. That was good. That was a good session.
Hmm.
So I think if you as a lifter approach your training in with a lot of intensity every single time, yeah, it's beneficial. And then you go to the meet and you're all tight together and so super intense, and you don't want to talk to anybody, and you just want to lock in. I think something's gonna give eventually. I mean,
Mm.
sometimes it's gonna work for you. Yes, great. But at the end of the day, what are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it? Are you really enjoying it? Because the meet day should be the showcase of your hard work.
Yeah.
You can put a little smile in there every now and then. You can talk to people. You can have a little bit of fun. I get it. You want to lock in. You want to get a job done. You want to perform at the best. Excuse me, to the best of your ability, and you want to show out. But at the end of the day, if you're acting like a special clown back there and don't want to talk to anybody, who's gonna want to talk to you after that?
Yeah.
I mean, like I've met so many people in powerlifting, and it's crazy how when I started off just knowing one person, and now I know a lot of people in powerlifting,
Hmm.
and it's so crazy just to think like, hey, what's up? Hey. Like I go to certain venues, I'm stopping every 2 seconds, and it's lovely because like, hey, I know you from back from 2001, 2022, 2020, and it's crazy just to see these people again because it's like wow, and just to see their progress and their development in the sport is some of them are refs, some of them are coaches, some of them are big lifters, some of them are lifters on the merge, and it's just great. I mean, and it just helps. I go to a gym, I'm always running into somebody that I met from the past. It's just great, and if you're gonna approach each meet being miserable and not approachable, it's I think you're just selling yourself short. You're missing those
Yeah.
little experiences that that I think that a lot of us forget when we compete. The experiences of competing. It's not just about
Yeah.
doing a lift. It's the experience of meeting these people because most of us we communicate through social media.
Right.
You guys are liking each other's posts over and over and over and over, and then midday don't talk to each other. What? Come on. Let's have a
Yeah.
conversation. Let's go have a drink.
Yeah. Because to your point, that's where you meet a lot of the people that you have been communicating with. Obviously, you're not most of the time going to be lifting in the gym every single day with these people. So you get to a big meet, that's really your impression that you're leaving people with as well.
Yep.
What legacy do you hope to leave on the powerlifting community?
Oh, I don't think I'm the one to define my legacy. I hope the legacy is defined. My legacy is defined by others viewing me.
Mm.
But what I would like, I won't say what I want to, a legacy I want to leave behind. But I just want to bridge the gap between someone that's a high lifter to someone that's starting off.
Mm.
Because I don't think a lot of us speak on that. When I started off, I was basically by myself. Christian was there. I read a couple of books, wrote my own programs, trained by myself. Christian helped me out a lot. There was no one really to like, no senior lifter or elite lifter, if you want to use that terminology, to to guide me through that this process.
Mm.
Everything that I did, it was basically from learning from others just by watching
Right.
them, looking back at their numbers and open powerlifting. That was like my literal Bible at the time because I used to just basically look at their year one, where they started, their year two, where they got, their year three, how many meets they did, what's going on, blah blah blah. So there was no one to basically guide me through the things that you don't normally hear about or see on social media, like the injuries, the bad days in the gym, how you can get better, stuff like that. Like, and it's crazy, or it's almost non-existent that a lot of high lifters don't really usher in to new lifters. And I don't know if it's something that the new lifters are afraid to approach them, ask them questions. So my thing is, if I'm in the gym, ask me a question. I don't claim to be the elite lifter or the high level lifter, but if I can help you with whatever information I have or any knowledge, I'll help as much as possible. Obviously, I'm not a PT, so I'm coming with no injury conversation. Can't help you with that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't have all the answers, but I can basically give you as much as possible in my experience that I have. I can't speak on anybody else because I only know about myself.
Yeah.
So I'll give you my experience and how I approach certain things. You don't have to take it, but just you can approach me, and that's what I want to be. I want to be that tool in the gym or wherever I go that someone can approach me and ask me a question. Just ask me a question. Let's have a discussion. And I think overall it's a mindset. I think I have a pretty good grip on the mindset of an athlete. So that's something that I'm passionate about is how you approach your training, how you approach your meet day, how you approach anything basically your mindset. It starts in your mind. And I know
Yeah.
a lot of lifters lose in their mind before they even get to the platform. And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of the young lifters coming up today. Their mindset is not properly channeled. I won't say focused.
Hmm.
They're not properly channeled because they are focused because they're in the gym training, so they have some kind of focus there, but it's not
Right.
properly channeled to the correct reasoning and the whys and the hows,
Yeah.
and that's not a thing too. And once again, social media. You only see the finished product. You only see SBD day,
Yep.
RPE 9 events, and everyone think they can do that. So that's what I want to be in terms of helping or guiding. Is just be that tool. Just pick my brain, whatever I have. I don't have, like I said, I don't have. I'm not a full blown experienced powerlifter. Some people have been doing this for years, and I ask anyone questions if I'm curious. I can ask
Yeah.
someone that just did one meet. I ask them
Yep.
questions, and one of the things too I will add to that is that I I refed for a couple of years, probably 2 years, I think, and you learn so much from refing.
Mm.
Not just giving people red lights, it's or white lights. I want to sound negative. You learn so much from seeing someone when they're about to come out, and you see them putting the chalk on their hands, and their hands are shaking, and they're taking the salt, and you can see they're nervous, and the coach is talking to them, and they're walking out there, and their eyes are like wide open. You learn so much from lifters. So
Hmm.
most of the times I'm in the gym, I can tell when someone's gonna miss a lift or get it just by the way how they act,
Yeah.
or if it's gonna be a hard one. And just from refing, I learned so much from just from refing, seeing people's body language, and that helped me as well to become a better lifter, not just to know certain things. And then I study people's body pattern or their body types
Hmm.
to understand what's gonna happen. Because I'm not just looking at someone just to give them a white light or a red light. But I'm looking to see, oh, this person is 6'6". Let's see how this person's going to squat. I'm
Mm.
studying their body mechanics. So
Yep.
it taught me a lot, so much more than actually lifting and competing, just from refing. By watching lifters over and over, multiple different lifters, male and female, kids, older lifters, learned a lot.
Yeah.
So going back to that, I just want to be a tool. That's all.
Yeah. And to backtrack a little bit, you were talking about people coming up to ask you questions. You want to be kind of an open book. I think you do a really good job of being approachable. I also just wanted to say, you said before about when you're first getting into it and you don't really know anybody, you don't really have any resources. I think even if you don't have the answer, you're one of those people who have connections. So if you don't know the answer to something or you don't necessarily have a viewpoint one way or the other, you have so many resources that you can point people to as well, which I think is knowledge is power, right? Like
Correct.
you have so much knowledge, so many people that you're in with, and you can help kind of people who might not have access to those people.
Correct.
Yeah, that's good. I think you're well on your way to being that. So,
Appreciate it.
what's the biggest challenge that you've faced in your experiences as a powerlifter so far?
Boy, in terms of me lifting or in general as a power lifter,
Just in general. Could be physical, mental, whatever.
keeping up with these young kids, physically keeping up with these young kids, because every time I turn, there's some young phenom popping up out of the blue. And it's physically demanding to keep up with some of them and stay ahead of them. Eventually, they're going to catch up. They're going to pass me. They're going to be stronger than me. I'm perfectly fine with that. That's not an issue. It's just that I have an expiration date, and I'm trying to get there quickly before they completely annihilate me in the process. So I think physically, that's my biggest challenge, or what I'm dealing with right now, which I'm actually excited about it because I think they keep me on my toes. And
Yeah.
last competition, if I didn't had a certain person Carrington in there, my deadlift would have never increased. I needed that. I think yeah, that physically that'll be it. Other than that, I would think that some of the biggest challenges I've faced is it's more so on a personal level in terms of viewing how certain lifters are treated. I
Hmm.
think certain lifters are treated because of their connection or clout base of social media presence. And it's not just me. Overall, there's a lot of lifters, not even including myself. I'm talking about all the lifters in the gyms that I've seen that actually come in daily, day in, day out, and put in work, and deserve certain recognitions, but they don't even get it because there's a certain other lifters with a couple thousand, whatever, social media presence or followers or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
and they're not even putting in the work and delivering the goods that they should have been, that they were projected to. And there's lifters in the gym day in, day out, putting in work, giving you results. And I'm not even talking about me. I'm far gone.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the young one coming up now. No recognition for them, and that's what hurts me to see, is that certain lifters are overlooked in the community, and certain lifters are put up on a pedestal, and it's not even a comparison in terms of performance. Now, if we're
Yeah.
talking about performance recognition, these people shouldn't even be in the same conversation with some of them, but they are, and that's what
Yeah.
hurts me. 'Cause it hurts the community too, as a whole, because you can't celebrate someone just because they have a big social media presence. But I
Yep.
guess at the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah, but it is very demotivating, and I
Correct.
think I think it's something that should be addressed because I see a lot of people who have great work ethic, are dedicated, come in, do their work, and they're leaving powerlifting or, as motivated as they once were because of some of those things. You're going to come in first in your weight class, but nobody ever talks about you. So really, you know, why?
Then again, it comes down to the small communities within the communities that create that negative impact. And I think as these smaller communities within the communities need to do a better job in recognizing some of these people.
Yeah.
Need may be a strong word, but I think it's only fair.
Yeah.
I think it's only fair because I know I've seen lifters come to the gym and put in work. I'm talking about real work, day in and day out, actually delivering on midday, and then there's someone that is having a social media blast, and then come to midday, and you want to know if it's the same person that you saw on social media.
Yeah.
This the same person, and that's a big debate. That's a big topic that I discuss a lot, and it just baffles me. I don't know why. It just baffles me. But I think as the sport grows, it's going to change because I'm starting to see that now as the sport evolves and performances are actually now kind of needed. it's gonna change, but I think at a local level, we really need to do better as communities within the community itself to give some kind of recognition. I'm not even talking about anything grand. I'm talking about simple posts, a
Yeah.
simple "good job, buddy," "good job, ma'am," something, something.
Yeah.
And like I said, it has nothing to do with me because I'm perfectly fine. I I have my own driving compass that drives me regardless of what's happening.
Yeah.
I I'm trying to advocate for these people, but there's only so much I can do, and it's just crazy to see that people coming to the gym and putting work and just overlooked because somebody else has a better camera setup than someone else.
Yep. I remember my first time meeting someone that I had followed for a few months on Instagram, and I met them for the first time, and I remember them saying, "Hey, you just hit a big PR on your squat, wasn't it such and such number?" And that just made me feel so big. I was literally a nobody in powerlifting. Very few people knew who I was, and just this person taking 30 seconds out of their day to say, "Hey, like I remember seeing this lift that you performed," just like meant the world to me.
Hmm.
So, I don't even think a lot of times that it needs to be this big elaborate recognition from a federation or a gym or whatever. Just those little impacts that you can make in people's lives can really add up and be the reason why somebody doesn't quit or doesn't leave the gym feeling like a nobody that day.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much can be said on that, and I think, like I said, I really believe that we can we can do better as a community. Within this community, 'cause there's so many federations. There's the country is so big. I think a lot of the countries they're smaller and they have more. They have that a closer powerlifting community. I think that plays a big part as well in terms of all these federations that we have in the U.S. Big landscape. A lot of the up and coming lifters, the intermediates, the pros, the elites. A lot of them get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
So this is why it's very important for the small communities within these communities try their best to encourage them. I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to see the sport to grow.
Yeah.
If you a little encouragement goes a far way, and I hope everyone can jump on that bandwagon and just encourage the up and coming lifters because at the end of the day, they're the ones going to be reaping the rewards of if the sport gets bigger or not.
Yeah.
This is not probably going to happen in the next 5, 10 years. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But overall, the young ones are going to be the ones reaping the rewards in the future. So for
Yeah.
us to encourage them to hang around, it's we gotta do something for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think saying encouraging someone else doesn't take anything away from you.
No.
I think a lot of times people get in this weird mindset, and I don't know where it feeds from, but it's like putting worth onto somebody else somehow takes away your own worth. And I don't know where that stems from, but that's just not true. There's absolutely no reason why you can't cheer someone else on and still completely be your own person.
Yeah, I think that goes back to the what I said earlier. People want to see you do well, not better than them.
Yeah.
But it has nothing. It really has nothing to do with that. Is that they're
Yeah.
fighting? They're in their own race. You're in your own race. Like you guys are literally a different ends of the track doing your own thing. It shouldn't get like that. But I think even ourselves as lifters, we focus too much on what social media is doing and forget get the overall aspect or the overall factor of powerlifting. We see this person doing this, we want to be like them. Let's
Hmm.
emulate them. F everybody else. right? We're not gonna
Yeah.
post them. We're not gonna do this. We're gonna follow all the big ones, and everyone tends to flock to all the big high level lifters, the names, so to speak, instead of supporting the person that you've been training next to for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Which is kind
Yeah.
of weird. Yeah.
Very.
So you're gonna support Billy Strongman that lives in Oregon and can't support Johnny Cash right over here that's right two platforms away from you.
Right.
It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't get it.
Very. Yeah, it I don't know why that is the way that it is, but
I think because the sport is self promoting. We don't have a highlights reel. We don't have an ESPN highlights reel. We don't have all that stuff. We don't. There's no financial backing behind it. It's whoever who feels like to do whatever. It's
true.
their platform. They can do whatever they want to do with it.
True.
But
Very
because
true.
at the end of the day, you don't see ESPN showing the guy that sucked for the last 3 years. He's not on a highlight reel.
Right.
So that's what.
What are your thoughts on the quality of coaching that you see out there? And what do you think? Do you think that there should be kind of a barrier to entry, or do you like this open market system that we have where anybody can be a coach, anybody can have clients?
Boy, I don't. To be to be frank, I don't pay much attention to other coaches other than my own coach. So I don't even know who does what or who's already coaching. I just hear someone be like, "Oh, I gotta talk to my coach." I'm like, "Who's your coach?" Just call it a random name. I'm like, "Okay, never heard of them." Not to be disrespectful or anything, I just don't know who the coach is. Yes, we do need some kind of entry level barrier or requirement to get in as a coach. What that is, I don't know. I'm not an expert in coaching and requirements of being a coach. But I do know in other sports, you can't go up to an NBA team and be like, okay, I got this team, I'm the coach today.
Yeah.
Or another sport and be like, oh, I'm a coach track today, I'm a coach cricket, I'm a coach soccer. They'll laugh at you and get you arrested. Get off the goddamn field. You're a crazy person. But I think because we don't have like unity in the sport, there's so many federations. There's not one like controlling power or a governing body to make sure that these coaches are properly trained and certified. Even if you want to say that to some degree, because at the end of the day, it's not just trying to get someone strong. It's trying to make sure they go home healthy and not
Right.
dying on the squat or
Yeah.
getting the neck chopped off on a bench. Those are the little things that we need to look at as a whole. And in terms of being a coach, it's not just about trying to get this person strong. We want to make sure they don't get seriously hurt. Also, you need to make sure this coach is safe to be around certain people, stuff like that. You can't just have coaches of any kind handling anybody. I mean, you
Right.
need to have people of some kind of responsible level to take care of these lifters. And on top of that, coaching is not just about writing a program and say get to work. There's also the personable part. We can all write a program, hopefully,
Yep.
and make it work or not make it work. But at the end of the day, how are you communicating properly? Like even with myself, I can coach someone, but I might not be able to get the message across to them properly
Right.
because we may have different communication skills in terms of I might be using the words differently. They're not grasping that because of my approach. And these
Yeah.
are the kind of training courses and so forth that coaches should take
Yeah.
to help a lifter gets better. Now, obviously, sometimes you do get lucky and you can make something work out of nothing. Sometimes you just have that gift with one particular client or multiple clients. Just click and it's
Right.
working. Yeah, it can happen. So in terms of that, I don't have all answers on that, but I think the coaching pool, there should be some kind of regulation in it in general. I'm not a fan of the whole, I did one meet, I did no meet, I'm a coach. I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of it, but I'm not the one to say it's wrong or right. I don't have the qualifications to say that.
And I think that's the thing too, is you don't want to create this super high barrier where people aren't able to enter the coaching pool. But I do think there has to be some basic training of not just writing a program. You know, this is how to deal with certain things, or this is bare minimum knowledge that you have, etc. I just fear that some people are doing more harm than they're doing good, because you're really your role is really important in a lifter's life as a coach. And I think when some people are just looking at it as a quick money grab, they're not taking all of that personal aspect into account.
Very true. Also, now this also falls back on the lifters as well. You know this person didn't meet last week, and you're asking them to coach you. Why? Is it a financial thing? Are they having a very low fee that you can afford?
Yep.
That may be something as well. Is it your friend? Do you guys have some kind of connection, some kind of relationship that you feel comfortable? You don't want to get out your bubble of talking to some stranger, stuff like that. Now, if you go to any other sport, you just can't call your friend and be like, "Coach me to play some baseball." That's not how it works.
Yeah.
But I think because powerlifting is so small but yet so big, um, it's much easier for someone to go to someone in the gym that just did a couple of meets or maybe did a meet and I'll coach you. Yeah, coach, I'll coach you, and they just jump on that bandwagon. So
Yeah.
there has to be multiple. We have to look at it from multiple ends, not just from the coaches just jumping. I'm a coach. I'm a coach. I'm a coach. What about the
Right.
lifters? Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna put weight on your back and train and bench press weights over your face, I think you need to really evaluate yourself on how you select your coaches. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, because I think a lot of us go to the gym and lift and not even think about the safety aspect of it or the risk in it. I've seen lifters are benching, they're not even using their face savers. And when I ask them, hey, why not using your face saver? I know how to fail. If I fail, I know how to fail. I'm like, okay. What if your wrist snaps, or if something breaks, or you pull a muscle, tear a pec? How are you stopping that?
Or they say, "Oh, it's lightweight."
Steel to the face, nothing is light about it. It could just be the bar, a tear right there. It's gonna hurt so bad. So yeah, those are the little things that I think we need to look at before we can actually create that overall guideline or a requirement. We have to look at the lifters as well. Why are you reaching out to someone that without experience to coach you? And I'm pretty sure most of the answer is going to be somewhere along the lines of comfortable with this person. This person seems knowledgeable, because there's a lot of knowledgeable people in powerlifting. They can talk your ears off on every aspect of the sport, and I'm like, wow. Then look at the lift. I'm like, why don't you apply it to yourself?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
But yeah, I mean, but some of the best coaches aren't the most phenomenal lifters in the world.
now, I'm not talking about the best coaches. I'm talking about the random people in the gym, the random coaches that
Mm.
can talk your ears off because they watch 800 YouTube videos on coaching and they can talk your ears off, but really and truly they don't know what they're doing. But like I said, that's up for debate because I'm not no expert in how to approve or disapprove a coach. That's not
Yeah.
my feel. I never will disapprove. If anyone says I'm a powerlifting coach, I'll be like, okay, thank you, and be like,
Yeah.
fist bump, good job, and walk away. Who am I to judge anybody?
Well, and knowledge isn't always applied in the best manner too. Like I remember when I was in college and I would have certain professors who knew everything about their subject matter, but they weren't able to dumb it down enough to the academic level.
Correct.
You can be the smartest person, you can know everything, but if you're not able to apply it, or you're not able to dumb it down so that somebody just entering that can understand and apply it to themselves, then what purpose are you really serving?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's more to it than just writing a program and telling people RPE 7 today.
That's the bare minimum.
Yeah. And then are you being a coach or are you enabling someone's ego? Me,
Yep.
that's not a thing. Because I've seen coaches, lifters going off program, and coaches, okay, that's good job, yay. Next week, let's do better. Like, what are you doing to fix that? Then you wonder why midday it wasn't their midday.
Or the lifter coming up with all of their attempt selections.
Let's that no more than you, or thinking more no more than you.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on having dots based meets versus total, using totals
Meets or in general.
in general?
Dots, I think it's cool. It's basically measuring up who's the strongest in terms of regardless of body weight. I'm fine with it. Don't really care how it's measured. I've never really tried to figure out what, why, when, who, where. None of that about dots. All I know is sucks for me. But this is my perspective on it. So for me, because I can only use myself because like I said, it's a personal approach how I approach powerlifting myself. So if I want to be relevant in the dots world, I need my total to go up. So I focus on my total. I don't worry about the dots. If every time I put on some more pounds on my total, my dots will go up. If it takes me 800 years to get to certain dots, so be it. I can't focus on the dots. I have to focus
Yeah,
on the my total and executing.
true.
If I put up a better total every time I compete, my dots will go up slowly but surely, and that's how I
So
approach
you
it.
don't so you don't focus on losing weight so that you hit a certain amount of dots?
I will never do that. No, there's nothing in this world and power can offer me to lose weight to hit the better dots. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not even close to losing weight to go to the next weight class. So that's out of the question. I do not want to be that light ever. If someone said, "Okay, Alejandro, you need to get on to the next weight class to get this," no, I don't even want to look like that. So to me, it's personal. I mean, other people may have other. No, if you're hovering like within 5-10 pounds of the weight class, yeah, I can see why now. But if you're like way way out in space, no, no. Even if it's 5-10 pounds, I don't like the idea of cutting to a weight class. Me personally, I just think it's too much stress in the middle of a prep. My
Mm.
first meet, I was 232, and it was the year of COVID, 2020. So our meet was supposed to be, I was in a 242 weight class. Give me a story for an example. It was February. I did my first meet. I was 232. My next meet was supposed to be June. Year of COVID, meet got pushed back a little bit to September. Now like I said, I had no idea how the whole process of powerlifting and so work. I was just training, how to build a basement gym real quick with scrap parts from everybody that had bars and plates. Built it and was keep training. August, I think my meet was September 13th or something in Ohio. August, I jumped in the scale. I think I was like 30 pounds heavy. 30 pounds or something like that. 30 pounds to 27 pounds heavier. That I was like, what? I had no idea, because like I said, I wasn't checking my weight daily, and I wasn't like eating like crazy either, because I'm not really a big eater. So I'm like, what the hell? So I cut all that pound in 1 month, 27 pounds in 1 month. Yes, you heard me right, 27 pounds in 1 month. Yes, I did that, and I have pictures. I look at everything. I look at it. I'm like, what? Never again. That was my last meet at a 242, because my body was not accent. Because the way I was packing on muscle mass, my body was not gonna hold up under 242 ever again after that. And I got to the meet and I was depleted, so depleted. I still PR'd my total, but
Of course.
it wasn't by much. But I still PR'd my total. But I was like, my whole entire training changed that last month,
Yeah.
because I couldn't push as hard as I wanted to, because I was
Mhm.
literally having just eating one meal a day, and it was something very small, and I was training as hard as I can. So I had to like reduce all the intensity in terms of the weight ranges, and just did like a lot of. I was just basically doing a month of cardio. It's a lot of reps
That's insane.
with less weight just to maintain some kind of strength. And that's
It's like a
how,
pound a day.
yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. It was really bad. And after that, I was like, never again. Never again.
Yeah.
But that was
I
my
think it's
personal experience,
easy.
though.
Yeah, I think it's easy when you first start, especially if you sign up for a meet before you're really fully into the powerlifting, fully like powerlifting training. You sign up and you kind of wrap your head around this certain weight class, and then you keep training. You're not doing anything differently other than the training aspect. You might be eating a little bit more to keep up with the training, but as far as myself, I wasn't really doing anything different other than the training, but my weight shot up significantly. And I remember having to make the decision of, am I going to cut back down to my original weight class because you know, I had studied all of the people that were in this weight class and I had familiarized myself and all that kind of stuff, all the records. But then you reach that point where you're just like, it would be so counterintuitive for me to go that route than just accept where I am right now.
Yeah. And the only reason why I actually cut that much weight is because I knew that I was more competitive in the 242s than the 275s. And I
Mm,
wanted no smoke with 275s. None. And that was me starting off. So I can understand why lifters are afraid to like, oh, I need to be stronger before I do it. I get it
yeah,
because that was me. I was like, I don't want to jump into 275. I'm gonna
yeah.
get, but looking back at it now, I should jump into 245 because after the meet in September, I said I'd meet 275, and I weighed in at like about 260 something at my meet in January of 2021. I added 200 pounds to my total
Mm,
from since then. And that's the
yeah,
meet I met my coach. But the point I'm trying to say is that when I look back at the numbers, I would have still podiumed with my new PR. So
mm,
if I had all the knowledge and experience and someone to guide me, I could
yep,
have probably gone to 275 and try the podium. So
yeah,
if I had to go back and pass and change anything but powerlifting, that would be it. Don't cut. Just jump into 275. You have the QT. Go and go and see where you land.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's my views on dots and total. Like if you're too hyper focused on dots and trying to limit yourself to a specific weight class, your body's not going to grow to develop that true strength. End of the day, you want to be as strong as possible. At least that's my outlook on it. You don't. Let's go to National Geographic Explorer NGE. Who's the strongest animal in the jungle? The ant.
right, yeah,
But he's not a king of the jungle. The ant is not king of the jungle, right? No one goes to the zoo.
true,
No one goes to the zoo and be like, "I'm here to see the ants. Where are the ants? I want to see the ants." No, people want to see the hippos and the elephants and the lions and the tigers, right?
true,
The big
yeah,
dogs, right? So
yeah,
that's a little perspective. If you want to add that in for the Dotson, you heard it, there's no dots in the jungle. That's a little perspective. The ant is stronger than everybody, but you don't.
yeah,
No one goes to the zoo to look at the ant. Let me go see this ant real quick.
yeah. Facts.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a good, yeah,
yeah.
that's a good point. All right, last question. When you first discovered what powerlifting was and you were doing your research on getting into the sport and all that, who was that first person on or Instagram, social media, whatever, that you thought, oh, I'm going to follow this person because they look like, they know what they're doing?
Okay, so when I first started powerlifting, obviously, if anyone knows me, I'm all about a challenge. I'm all about looking at the who is the biggest fish in the ocean. So I think I was, like I said, I was like about 230 something pounds. I think at the time when I opened up iPower, open powerlifting.org or whatever it's called, I think in that weight range because they have different federations, but overall big dog was I think was Dennis Cornelius, and I
Mm,
saw his total and I almost passed, I almost fainted. For that split second, I was like, no, that's not for me. This is not for me. This is not for me. But I saw his age. I think at the time he was a little bit. I think he's like 2 years or 3 years older than me. So
Mm.
I saw his age, and that's what intrigued me. I was like, oh damn, okay. And I looked at where he started off. I'm like, okay, okay. I started bridging it. I
Mm.
wasn't too savvy with social media back then, so I don't think I followed him on social media. But his numbers were the numbers I used to get me up here. So I knew I needed
Mm.
100 pounds every year to be somewhere on track, and then somehow grab 200 pounds at the back end of year five, which is next year. So next year I have to be add 200 pounds to my total. Don't ask me how. Don't
Okay.
ask me how yet, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, right? So he was the one that I looked at. I was like, damn, okay, same age group. He started off a little earlier than me, way earlier than me, obviously, and this is what he's doing. So it's doable. It's not impossible.
Mm.
It's doable, and that's when I put his name out of the picture. Because one of my big thing is I don't want to put a name to what I'm trying to achieve. I
Yeah.
put a number to what I'm trying to achieve. So I'm not running behind people. Oh, let me stick this person's social media. I want to be like this person. No, no, no. I need this number by this year, this number by this year, this number by this. These are my goals. They're strictly numbers. So I don't feel as though I have to outperform lift the A, lift the B, or the C. There's no
Yep.
pressure like that on me. So he was the one that started off that kind of like give me a gauge of where I wanted to be and so forth. And he was just a lifter that shows up, lifts, not much emotion, just go in there, a little grunt here and there, lift and walk off. Now he trains in his
Yeah.
basement every now and then, like a legend. Just goes in there and squats 1,000,000 pounds and bench 1,000,000 pounds. That almost sometimes bare feet and like true champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he was the one basically. I mean, there were other people as well, but I can't remember them because, like I said, after I saw that person, I just blocked out all names. So I would just open powerlifting and let's look at numbers. I don't
Yeah.
really care who did it. It could have been anybody. Weight class,
I
numbers.
I think it's important too what you said about disconnecting from the people who you're trying to beat because earlier, I think in the very beginning of our conversation, you said that these kids are coming up. There are constantly people coming into the sport that you've never heard of before in your life. And I think from my time being in powerlifting, the numbers have changed so much that in the beginning I thought, okay, I need to hit this total or I need to catch up to this person's records to be somewhat relevant. And then three more people come in, blow those numbers out of the water, and now you're like, well crap, now I'm back to square one. I think that's what makes the sport so exciting. But if your main goal is fixated on one person or one total, that's not really a good way of setting your goals because those are going to constantly change weekly. Every single time there's a meet, those numbers are going to change almost.
I was having this conversation with someone, actually multiple people this week. The numbers that you think is good now will not be good next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. You have to set a moving target,
Yeah.
and that's how I approach it. So, like I threw numbers out there that I want to hit, and people looking at me like I'm crazy, and they have all right to, because they're crazy goals, because the number's going to keep changing. And if you aim for something that's almost ridiculously high, even if you don't get it, you're still landing in somewhere in that gray area, which is good. Even if you don't have a, for instance, my last meet, I had a crazy number that I wanted to hit. Didn't hit it for multiple reasons, but where I still landed is other people's dream goals. You understand me? So I have this mindset that if there's a target to be set in terms of a number to hit, I'm gonna project it to be this, and this time frame. Sometimes it might be too much, sometimes it might be less. But the bottom line is that I'm trying to project to that. Obviously, within that, I have to do the work in the gym to show
Yeah.
my coach that I can handle the next week and the next week, so he can keep adding to that. I just can't tell
Right.
him, hey, let me squat 1,200 pounds next week in 2 months. I just can't
Yeah.
tell him that. Excuse me. So all these numbers that I have in my head, or any lifter that has these numbers in their heads, or they're thinking of, they have to go and put the work in, show their coach or whoever that they can handle it, so they can improve. End of the day,
Mhm.
it's on you to be realistic with yourself or be unrealistic with yourself, and there's no wrong answer to that. Sometimes you gotta
Yeah.
be a little unrealistic if you want to be at a certain level, and that's how I approach it. Like I don't approach it as there is a limit. There's, there is no limit. Because when I started off powerlifting, 600 pound squat was like, oh my god. Then 650 and 700 and everything was like, oh my god. I'm like, whoa, you can't think of that kind of weight on your body, in your hands
Yeah.
or on your back. You can't really until you actually do it. Then you just forget that it was actually something that was haunting you for the last 2 years or a couple months, because you passed it now. So
Yeah.
if every lifter just look at it like that, like there's no limit really. You just gotta push your body to it. Obviously, yeah, there is a limit, but at the end of the day, you have to set yourself up mentally for success.
Mm.
And that's why I always tell people, if you gotta believe it. You gotta believe it. You can't go in the gym there thinking that it's gonna be too hard. Of course, it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be hard. That's why I try to encourage many people. Like, oh, I don't want to go to nationals because it's so and so. Why not? Go to nationals. Go to this meet. Compete against this person. What's gonna happen? You win, you lose, you miss, you don't miss, you get the lift, you don't get the lift. What happens after that? Nothing.
Yeah.
You're just putting yourself in situations to be better. And every event, how daunting it may seem, a national meet. Oh, that's all the big lifters in the world or wherever the country or whatever. Go compete. That's an experience. That's an experience right there. So don't
Yeah.
don't limit yourself to that little area where you're comfortable. You can't stay comfortable, and you got to set your goals high. You got to set your
Mhm.
goals high. You got to pull that bar a little bit past reality and be a little insane. That's how
True.
that's how I approach it. And I
Yeah.
think I think once you get that, as it is, I hope so. If you once you get that mindset, it's gonna click. There is no really bad session in the gym. It's a lot of information. Like I've learned so much from missing lifts
Mhm.
than
Yep.
actually getting a lift.
Yeah.
So there is reward in failure. I mean, there is reward in failure. There's the information in failure that can help you get better. This is one particular sport that what's on the bar is on the bar. There's
Mhm.
no outside interference. There's no teammates. There's no weird stuff happening. It's just you on the bar. You're strong or you're not strong. If you get a deadlift up to your knee and you dropped it and you can't pull it up, 2 months ago you couldn't break the ground. That's a win.
Mhm.
That's a win. A couple meets ago, I got 750 up to my knee. Then I pulled it in the gym. You gotta take it as a positive sometimes. It's not all negative. It's not all
Yeah.
negative.
Yeah.
So going back to what you said, yeah, you gotta set the bar high. You can't just look at the total that's on the last person to put up 200 pounds. You think that's gonna stay by the time you compete?
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah. Con.
Open bar lift, and you be like
Yeah.
500.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
It's great, but overall, it's great to see the young lifters, the young community. When I say young, I'm talking about not just age. I'm talking about lifters that are starting off. Like
Yep.
you could be 125 years old and start off your first
Mhm.
meet. I love seeing that kind of stuff. Just to cap off this segment here, that's the kind of stuff that drives me in the gym. I like watching lifters come in there and actually do the work and put in the best, and then compete midday. It makes me smile, and it just tells that there is there are people out there that are actually willing to come to the gym and dedicate some time to this craft and try to be strong as possible, regardless of
Yeah.
what's going on. Because it's not easy dedicating time to do all of this.
Oops. Go on.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just great. It's great seeing that. I mean, and the lifters that are coming up now, I've seen lifters that are shy and people that are like timid or too nervous or afraid. They're expressing themselves more. They're communicating more. I remember I know of lifters that see them in the gym. They won't say a word to you until you say, "Hey, what's up?" And then after that, they're like, "I want to talk your ears off," and that's probably me. Talk my ears off. It's fine, but it's just good to be let our lifters be comfortable in their time of training because I know sometimes a lot of people don't like to go to certain gyms because they think it's intimidating because all the big lifters are there and people avoid certain gyms because because I'm gonna look weak.
Yeah.
Um, you're not the only person that feels that way.
Yeah.
Everyone feels weak every now and then. Like it's fine. No one here is judging you. Okay, this person is weak. No,
Mhm.
no one does that. At least not me.
Yeah.
So at least the people that I'm surrounded around, they don't think like that. So
Mhm.
it's not the end of the world to come out your comfort zone. You learn a lot,
Right.
and once
Yeah.
you start realizing that, like, I remember my first 2 years in powerlifting, it was so stressful in terms of dealing with certain people. When I say certain people, I'm talking about certain. You don't want to approach certain gyms or approach certain environments because everyone was. I think my first 2 years was so aggressive in powerlifting in terms of the old style. I think we have
Yeah.
evolved as a community and we're more supporting of each other. And when I started off, there was a lot of if you're not strong, you know, get out of here kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Just seeing that changed over the couple of years, and it helps so many other people to feel encouraged to take it more seriously and to progress into the sport as well. Not just for me, because I like I said, I operate on my own compass, so I don't need a driving force to to get to the gym. I'm going to the gym regardless, because that's how I operate, if I like it or not. But it's overall, I want to see other people feel comfortable in the gym and be respectful of each other and just have a good time while training. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Right.
Have a good
Yep.
time training. Go to your meet. Show us what you did for the last 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, whatever the case may be. Show us. I want to see it,
Yeah.
good or bad. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. No, I think that was great. I just want to thank you again for being willing to be on here and share some of your knowledge and your insights. And I think the more that people hear different opinions, the less scary that this becomes to everyone. And hopefully, everyone can learn something. So, thank you again for being willing to share your story and appreciate it.
No problem. Until next time.